Shrewsbury Town Football Club from Montgomery Waters Meadow here. Your timing absolutely perfect as a helicopter from RAF Shrewsbury arrives to deliver the match ball for the penultimate final game of the 2023 Eagle Services football season. And what better could we be expecting than a showdown between the Army and the Royal Air Force. The helicopter is touching down now on the centre circle, and the football will be delivered to the chairman of RAF Football. That is Air Vice Marshal Bradley, who will come out to receive the ball, delivered by one of the air crewmen from Shrewsbury, literally just down the road from here. And that is the match ball that will be played this evening to decide this season's Inter-Services Championship here between the Royal Air Force and the British Army. It's very noisy here around the stadium, as you can imagine. So all eyes on the helicopter as it prepares to lift off. And we take a lift off on this coming or present season of Inter-Services football. If you were with us earlier, you probably remember that it was a victory for the RAF women this afternoon by 4 goals to 1 against the Army. That was over at Town FC as the helicopter lifts off. And the wave. So, what's the story so far in this Eagle Services Championship? Let's find out. On the edge of the box, shoots, great save. And well, Manny Roche then had a real chance then to...
It's never going to be anything other than just a foul.
No, exactly. It's a shame, actually, that players are doing that at any level. Oh, the cross comes over. Oh, spill by Pollitt-Brigg. And the referee has said penalty. Pollitt-Brigg, and then there was a challenge there big moments in this inter-services. And it's saved. Oh, has it gone in? No, it's gone in. And he's so cross with himself with Pollock Brigg, because he thought he'd saved it, but then the ball just seemed to roll out of his hand. That's a lovely ball through. Oh, and it's going to be an equaliser. Surely it is an equaliser. And would you believe it's Brodie Gray who's got on the end of it, but fantastic work there from Jake Gosling. We've had, you know, a game to really enjoy tonight, which has finished 1-1 here. Good recovery though from Lee McCombie there, did really well. Ball goes forward, chance for the Army, and it's going to be in the back of the net. And it's Scott McCarthy who has got this opening goal. It's a beautiful through ball from Lee McCombie, and there was McCarthy to touch the ball home and put the Army 1-up. Oh. Glendon loses out. Opportunity for the Army to get a second here. Penalty. Ball goes down, and the referee says that is a penalty. Shoots, sends the keeper the wrong way. Army 2 are Royal Navy 0.
And he gives them an option to play off. And
even at this early stage, the next goal is going to be absolutely crucial. Oh, and it's a chance for a third for the Army, and he's not going to miss that, is he? Scott McCarthy wins the rebound and the deflection. It was really unfortunate then on Lawrence McCormick. So on the field at the moment, the pleasantries just being done with the representative ensigns, of course, of the Royal Air Force and the Army. And before the players come out on the pitch for the formal bit of what we're expecting, obviously before kickoff, let's get the view, shall we, from the two coaches. So Captain Jimmy Blair then, the head coach of the British Army team. Jimmy, you did a lot of the hard work, of course, at Aldershot with that excellent 3-0 win against the Royal Navy last week. So you know exactly what you need to do tonight.
Yeah, last week I was really pleased with the team performance. 3-0, clean sheets, more importantly, really solid at the back, and sets up this evening for a must-win game. There's no two ways about it. We've got to win tonight, and that's how we're prepared. That's our mentality, and we'll go when the referee blows the first whistle.
Because obviously the RAF, they've won this title for the last few years, obviously with the break for COVID. So this is a real opportunity for the Army to snatch that Constantinople Cup back.
Yeah, the champions, they'll come into this confident as well. They'll have a bit more to play for in terms of the silverware that they want to retain. But we want that back, and we'll come and give it our all to get that back.
Just on the lineup, any major changes that you've had to make?
No, we're going to go with the same lineup. And let's see if that works this week.
Okay, good luck for tonight.
All right, thank you.
Warrant Officer Andy Kuchar, who's obviously the RAF's head coach. Andy, big night for you. A 1-1 draw, obviously, in the opening game is not, I know, what you wanted. So you know that you've got to win tonight.
Yeah, and that's inter-service football for you. The main thing is we gave ourselves a lifeline, and we didn't lose the first game. So it makes it for an interesting game, makes it a cup final tonight. So winner takes all. At the end of the day, the Army win, they win the inter-services, and but obviously we'll be doing our damnedest to stop them and do what we do and regain our own trophy.
You love coming here to Shrewsbury, don't you? It's a lovely stadium to come and play.
Yeah, the guys and the club are fantastic. They host us exceptionally well, and all our guests, family, friends, etc. Why wouldn't you want to play at these sort of stadiums? League status stadiums, and brilliant turf, brilliant pitches, brilliant stadiums. And it's conducive to certainly, hopefully, the way we play football.
And of course, you had a good old view of what the Army are capable of just last week at Aldershot. So copious notes being taken, I know, during our commentary on the night. So you know what you're up against.
Yeah, there's no hiding the fact. I would imagine that the Army are going to set up exactly the same in that 4-2-3-1 formation. So we've done a lot of groundwork and a lot of analysis work on how we're going to try and break that down. Not going to give too much away at the moment, and let's see if the plans come to fruition.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Andy Kuchar and Jimmy Blair with their views, obviously looking ahead to the game. The players just about to come out onto the pitch. Time for me to introduce our guest co-commentator this evening, Scott Jackson, who's joined me once again. Scott, who of course was with us down on the south coast in Portsmouth just a couple of weeks ago. Scott, great to have you with us tonight. And well, it was all set up, wasn't it, with that 1-1 draw initially, so we knew we were going to have a game that would be a decider tonight, and here we are.
Yeah, John, it's absolutely set up for that. You know, you've seen both teams go through the paces out there tonight. As both managers said, you know, it's win at all costs. They're not here, the Army aren't here to play for a draw. Jimmy was evidently clear about that pre-match. So let's see if they do play tentative, try and keep it tight for the first half, and then maybe come out if anything happens. But yeah, the RAF are pretty confident as well.
Well, the interesting thing is really in terms of team selection, it's as you were for both teams. The Army completely as they were in Aldershot last week, and that's actually despite the fact that Scott McCarthy, who got a couple of the goals in the 3-0 victory, went off injured, but he's obviously recovered from that injury. He'll take his place at the centre of the attack for the British Army alongside Sam Atkinson. And it's a pretty formidable looking front line they've got as the players now come out onto the field with the officials before the kick-off. And the same really for the RAF as well from 2 weeks ago. No issues at all for them to report in terms of their team lineup. And I mean, you look down this side and, you know, you look at people like Jake Gosling. We've mentioned him before. He's a match winner, isn't he? I mean, he's the sort of player who can come out and he can, you know, do the biz as he did against the Navy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, indeed, Jake's. You know, we covered it in the first match, John. Jake's a fantastic player, and right throughout, you know, his professional career, and now playing in the semi-pro game, he's playing week in, week out. He's fresh. You know, he's energetic, and he can win a game on his own.
He certainly can. Well, both sets of players then being presented to the dignitaries this evening, who are being welcomed onto the pitch to once again shake hands with both of the players, both sets of players. And it's really our cue to tell you, wherever you are around the world, that we'd love to hear from you tonight, wherever you're watching this deciding match in the inter-services. I mean, the stats, the mathematics is very, very simple. The Army just need a draw. They can win this title back. And as far as the Army are concerned, they need a draw. The Royal Air Force, they need a victory tonight to win back this Constantinople Cup again for a third successive time. Remember, there was a bit of a break in the play, obviously for a couple of years because of COVID, but the Constantinople Cup is up for grabs this evening. Time now, though, for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem.
The officials this evening, you know pretty well, I think, Scott, don't you? They're all from the Royal Navy this evening, and it's Aidan Madden who's going to be looking after things tonight in he's the man in the middle.
He sure is. I remember Aidan, you know, coming through when we first got into it. He's actually a good player himself, to be honest. So it's good to see the players get involved, and he's obviously progressing up the ladder, and he's good to see.
OK, let's run through those two teams then. We'll start with the Army lineup, shall we, on the graphics. Luke Kearney is in goal for them, with Staff Sergeant Matty Evans at 2. The left back is Lee McCombie, Sean Thompson, Craig Stevenson, Mo Sabo, the only officer in the Army team. Scott Hind is wearing number 7, Sam Atkinson 8, with Scott McCarthy at number 9, with Harry Beckley at 10, and Lee Phillips wearing number 11 tonight for the Army. As far as the RAF are concerned, their lineup: Christian Pollitt-Brigg is in goal tonight. Christian, who joined us as a co-commentator last week for the Army-Navy game, and very well he did as well. Liam Corrigan, Phil Bright at number 3. Those the two full-backs, with Aaron Eilert. He'll be wearing number 11 this evening. There's a bit of a change there in terms of numbers. Sam Rawlings, Joe Thomas, Jack Debenham, Michael Campbell, Joe Spalding wearing number 8 this evening. Jake Gosling at number 10. We know all about Jake, of course. Brodie Gray is wearing number 4, with Matthew Cape at number 21. So those are the players. Those are the two lineups. And I think we're just about ready to make a start then tonight in this match. I'm expecting a cracking game tonight, because both of these teams know exactly what they have to do. There's so much to look forward to, and of course, you know, so much competition. This Constantinople Cup means so much to both of these teams.
It does, and you saw that pre-match, John, with the slight nerves from the managers and the players. And it's down to the wire tonight, with this being a winner-takes-all kind of game.
It certainly is. The Constantinople Cup, actually, I was doing a bit of research on it a bit earlier. It was actually originally given for boxing, not for football. Originally it was a boxing cup, but was taken over for football back in the early 1920s. So there you go. Bit of useless information I thought I might like to chuck in your direction. But it will be the Army who will be kicking off this match here at the Montgomery Waters Meadows, home of Shrewsbury Town Football Club, and has become really the RAF's second home for football, or their home for football over the last few years. And the pitch, as we've been commenting, looking absolutely superb this evening, Scott. And you can't be said for all the pitches around. And in fact, with all the rain that we've had over the last few days, I do remember Shrewsbury Town, the old game meadow, used to be sort of a home for water polo at one stage when it rained.
Yeah, I think we spoke about that last time we were here a good few years ago, John, and it's looking absolutely fantastic. A lot of the pitches have had a lot of football played on them, throughout, and it's absolutely immaculate out there.
Army picking it up then with Sam Atkinson. Early touches of the ball for their back four.
I wonder if the Army are going to get off to a quick start again tonight, like they came out the blocks last week down at Aldershot.
They certainly did. Yeah, it was such a tight game as well at Portsmouth, wasn't it? And the Army were 3-0 up before you knew where you were. Obviously with the penalty as well they had. And of course the Navy missed a penalty right at the beginning of the second half. Could have been a very different game if they'd scored that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, games change on moments like that, and I thought the Navy played well second half. They came out and gave a good account of themselves. I think it just left themselves too much to do from the first half.
Here's Bright. Goes down the field, that ball not out of play. And Luke Kennedy just teeing himself up, ready to make sure that he can clear it.
Luke did have a word with me, John, earlier, and said please be nice, because his nan and mum
are watching.
They're watching tonight, so shout out to the Kearney family.
It's a corner. Little bit of debate about it, but it's in the end it did come off the boots of Craig Stevenson, although he seems to think it didn't. So an early corner then in these early moments of the game. And the RAF have looked particularly good from set pieces this season.
Looks like we're in swinging. Pressure on Luke there in the 6-yard box.
Corner comes in, and that's going to go harmlessly out of play. If you were with us earlier on, it was a very good afternoon for a certain Pip Wilson from the Royal Air Force. Bagging a hat-trick at inter-services football is a great achievement for anybody, and she scored a hat-trick today against the Army in that 4-1 victory over at Leek Town. And my thanks to all our team, by the way, who've trekked the hour and a half across from Staffordshire across here to Shropshire to bring you this game tonight. So County then with the goal kick. Army win the throw.
Every decision's being contested, John.
As you would expect.
A slightly different affair to the last 2 weeks, but it's fabulous, eh?
Here's Hind. Scott Hind taking it deep into the corner, but Phil Bright equal to it. Goes out for the throw. So Matty Evans then with the throw. Nice little dink in the corner from Scott McCarthy. Such a handful he was last week. And he only went off the field because he was carrying it. It looked like a hamstring injury, but clearly he's recovered.
Yeah, I was watching him in the warm-up. He seemed to be really sharp, so they probably had him on ice for the last week, John.
Yeah, clearly. Usually it's a month out, isn't it, for the professionals if they get a hamstring injury. Maybe it wasn't a ham at all.
No comment.
Lee McCombie then with the throw. Aimed at Lee Phillips, gets the cross in. RAF trying to get it cleared, but only as far as Atkinson. Atkinson takes the shots, and it goes just wide.
I think the Army will be looking to get Sam Atkinson on the ball there. He's absolutely ferocious from 18, 20 yards out. He scored some absolute screamers.
He has. In fact, I think we've seen a couple on this ground, haven't we, over the last few years.
Yeah, and he's not shy of putting them on his Twitter page on a Saturday and Sunday from playing up in Carlisle on the weekend.
Come on, lads, keep the ball on the pitch. It's a lovely pitch to play on rather than going up in the air. That goes out of play.
Seems quite nervy out there, John.
Here's Joe Thomas. And already Jay Gosling coming back in to collect that ball. When he gets his foot on the ball, you know, it's serious stuff. 3.5 minutes played then here at the Montgomery Waters Meadows. 0-0 in this final match of the Inter-Services Championship. At the moment, a draw good enough for the Army, of course. They won't be playing for a draw, though. They'll be playing for a win. Hefty challenge coming in from Captain Sam Rawlings. You picked up a booking in the opening match at Fratton Park, as did Joe Thomas as well. He's on the ball now. Phil Bright. Thomas loses out. Chance then for Beckley into the penalty area. Eventually cleared by the Air Force, but that was a bit of a slip there from the Air Force. The Army almost in.
Yeah, they smelt a mistake there, and then, you know, they drew the ball out and they put them through. And I don't think they'll want to be doing that too many times tonight.
It's another corner, or a corner to the Army. Their first one of this game.
Looking for a Sam Atkinson outswinger here. They've loaded the edge of the box. Ball's in.
Headed back into play by the Army. The Air Force will try and get this clear, but it's only gone as far as Atkinson. Atkinson, a lovely ball in, and that's really well taken by Christian Pollock-Brigg. He'll be happy to get a reasonably early touch like that on the ball tonight. It's a beautiful evening here in Shrewsbury. It's dry, which, given the fact that we've had driving rain for our last outside broadcast that we've been bringing you on BFBS over the last few days, is a bit of a blessing, to be fair.
Ball through, looking for Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell chasing it. Comes back, and that's a great shot. And it's in the back of the net.
Goal.
Well, what a cracker. What an absolute corker. And the man who put that ball in the net is Aaron Ayat. What a cracker. Right from 25 yards. Well, it came right out of the blue. You know, the ball came right across. First time left foot into the back of the net, and the Air Force have a 1-0 lead.
Well, what can we say, John?
Well, it's a beautiful goal, and there was absolutely nothing that Luke Kearney could do about it.
No, it's not often Luke's rooted to the spot, but unfortunately he was there and he could not do a single thing about it. Great finish.
Well, that is certainly worth seeing again, because it was just a beautiful goal.
He's hit
Just
that so
rooted to his
sweet.
spot. Yeah, such a sweet hit with his left foot. So, first blood goes to the reigning champions, the RAF, leading by 1-0 here. So the Army know they've really got to up their game. They've had a couple of half chances, but the Air Force have that early goal. An absolute beauty. If that's a goal that wins a championship, then it certainly deserves it.
And not one person can have an argument about that. He's hit that so sweet with his left foot.
I was expecting some, some cracking football, and we've had a goal that would really, stand up anywhere. Wouldn't be out of place in the Football League or at any level. Absolute beautiful goal. And it's given the Air Force the lead that they so desperately wanted early doors. Here's Ayat again. Inside their own penalty area are the RAF, with
plenty of space down the left side now.
Bright
with Phil
now
Bright
coming wide, and he's got man inside, man on the outside. Jack Debnam, who I thought had a terrific game for the Air Force against the Navy a couple of weeks ago, getting himself involved. Ayat again. He's going to look back on that goal with a huge amount of pleasure, I'm sure. He'll see it, watch it again and again. And here come the Air Force looking for a second, with Joe Spalding on that right side. Spalding approaches the penalty area, gets the shot. Oh, my goodness, that was a magnificent save from Luke Kearney. Put the ball over the bar, and that goes out for a corner, the RAF's first corner of the game.
Luke Kearney is absolutely furious with his defence there. He will not be happy at all at that. They're standing off the RAF as they push forward, and they're inviting the pressure on and just given so much space, and he's unleashed another one from 22 yards out. And great save by Kearney, but I don't think they can let him do that too often.
No, they certainly can't.
Another in-swinger.
Off the
and
crossbar.
Another great save.
My goodness me, the RAF could have had 3. They started this first half magnificently well. I'm sure that Andy Kuchar will be delighted with the way they started. Bit of a contrast to the game down at Fratton Park a fortnight ago, when the Navy really were the men on a mission. But that was a great save again from Luke Kearney. And if the Army go on to win this championship, well, they'll have an awful lot to thank their goalkeeper for.
He couldn't do anything about the goal, but his last 2 minutes or so, them 2 great saves, he's kept the Army in it. The RAF could have been out of sight.
Thomas, goalkeeper, Pollock Brigg, just outside his penalty area, looking for a blue shirt, and he finds a red one. In the end, it's cleared by Brodie Gray. Army, though, with a bit of an opportunity here, with referee says play on. Shot comes in from Thompson, eventually cleared away by the RAF, and
got the
that
legs
will
on
be
him.
caught. Magnificent run then from Mike Campbell. Campbell into the penalty area. He's still going. Plays it cross field. That's a really good challenge, though, on Joe Spalding. Army defence holding there, holding firm.
Great cover there from Phil Bright.
Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he? And
I wonder if we've got the Bright contingency watching tonight in person or on Facebook or your YouTube.
I'm sure we will. Paula Brighthill, glad to be able to watch in person tonight. Come on, Phil Bright, just on cue. Play up Air Force, sending positive vibes from sunny Spain, says Matt Beattie. Good evening to you, Matt, watching on Facebook this evening. And wherever you are, please get in touch with us. Tell us where you're watching and how you're enjoying the evening. It's a lovely spring evening here in Shropshire. And so far, it's the RAF who've got a spring in their step.
We've got to deal with this
got a bit
one.
of defending to do, and well dealt with by Sam Rawlings there. Ball goes out of play. And Lee Phillips leaves it in the end for his left back, Lee McCombie, to take the throw. Here's Phillips. Back to the big centre half, Mo Sabo. Nicely picked up by the Air Force. Ball spread wide by Jack Debnam, but unfortunately for them,
Joe Spalding just couldn't keep it in there, unfortunately.
yeah, Spalding and Campbell, they're just trying to fool us, because last time out they swapped shirts and now they've swapped back again. So just to get that absolutely right.
Just keeping us on our toes, John.
Not for the first time. Jake Gosling is also wearing orange boots as well, which are beginning to twinkle brightly in the floodlights, which are just coming into their own now. I think this is the first time, actually, that this match has been the final game in the Inter-Services Championship, and you can tell because it's still light. Normally we're here and it's pitch dark by the time the game kicks off.
And Helmer hammering down as well.
Yes. Well, keep your fingers crossed that that's going to stay. It's going to stay like a dry evening here. Brody Gray ushering that ball out of play eventually. So the Army will have the goal kick. If you're just joining us, an early goal for the Royal Air Force, and it was an absolute cracker from Aaron Ayet. Must have been, what, 25 yards out. Left foot, goalkeeper never even saw it. Flew into the back of the net. So the RAF 1-0 up. And at the moment, they are heading for another championship.
I think the Air Force will be happy with the start, John. Obviously, one goal to the good, and I think it's just they pushed the Army hard already. Whether they've got the legs on it to maintain that for the next 75 minutes or so, we will see.
Well, so there's a long way to go. It was the Army who took the lead in the women's game earlier on, and they got on the end of 4 goals in the end. So, of course, the Army very keen to win this title back. They've not held the Constantinople Cup since, what, 2018. Christian Pollock-Brigg made his commentary debut for us last week, and very good he was too. Brad Jackson says, up the Scotty Hind, the Scottish Messi. Great win for Scotland last night, wasn't it, against Spain in the qualifiers as well.
I don't think the Spanish took it too well in the post-match interviews.
No, I didn't see them. Here come the Air Force then with Joe Spalding into the penalty area.
Great ball.
That's a lovely ball, and he was just looking for Michael Campbell there. Campbell does pick it up in the end. And this is Gosling. Finds Ayet again. Cool, great cross coming in, and well, Craig Stevenson had to deal with it, didn't he, with the diving header to put it out for another RAF corner, their second of the game.
Yeah, he's done well there because Spalding's coming in behind there with a bit of a free run on it.
18 minutes played here in Shrewsbury this evening.
Looks like we're switching to an outswinger.
It's Gosling, though, with the corner, and he's such a handy pair of feet with a set piece. Takes it. I think actually he slipped. I don't think he meant to make it a one like that.
No, I think that was one of the training ground specials where Debenham's peeled off to try and take the short from Gosling, but he unfortunately slipped
at the last moment. So danger over for the Army for now. Matthew Hendry says, get Luke Preen on. Alan Shearer has posters of this man on his wall. That's a great comment.
The RAF first to it again.
McCombie. That goes back to Sabo, who finds his goalkeeper.
So like Luke Kearney's trying to get him up there, push him up the field with a long kick.
Yeah, but an offside goes up. A flag goes up for offside. The Air Force pushing themselves forward. Trying to squeeze the Army, I think, at the moment, aren't they? And at the moment, plenty of success. Angela Parhill, great start, RAF lads. Lovely watching, supporting number 3, Phil Bright. He's one of our own. Another of the Phil Bright fan club.
We just can't get away from them, John.
You can't.
They're here, they're there.
And he loves it.
He's just pulled to this left side here, and he's left the Army have left absolutely loads of space if the switch is on.
Yeah.
Chose not to.
Went to the right instead. Here's Gosling. He may look to the left, but tries to play through. But he can't find a way through Lee Phillips. Thomas. Gets it back again. Air Force happy to play this ball.
Feels like they're trying to draw the Army on and create the space with the high press from the Army, but they not seem to be biting at the moment with it.
It's nice control there on that far side, though, from Campbell.
He cuts inside.
Still going in. Campbell takes a shot. Oh, and another brilliant save from Carney. My goodness me.
They're running riot, John.
It's just the space they're finding at the moment. And that was brilliant work from Mike Campbell, wasn't it then? Brilliant.
He kind of made something out of nothing from the right. He's cut in, and they've just stood off, and it's Luke Kearney again. He saved the Army.
Well, that's the third save that Kearney's made, and well, he's keeping them in the game. Simple as that. Another corner to the RAF.
In swinger.
Comes in. Goalkeeper gets the punch. Ball comes out to Debenham.
Recycles. Great ball. Ooh.
Just a little bit too much on it there for the Air Force to get to, but my goodness me, they could be 3 or 4 up.
Surprising.
And you can't say they've missed the opportunities because those have been shots on target.
Yeah, like we said, Luke's kept them in it.
Yeah, 3 great saves so far. And there was nothing he could do about the goal. If you haven't seen that, we'll try and play it for you at half-time again because it was an absolute corker.
Just doesn't seem like the Army can get into it, John.
Well, the Air Force are just totally in control at the moment. They have a chance then with this free kick. And Kearney's come almost to the halfway line to take it.
It's his left foot. I think they want him on set pieces. I don't know if you've ever seen Luke Kearney play up front. He's a fantastic striker.
Well, the way it's going, you might end up having to go up for at the last moment. The Air Force trying to get it clear. Oh, and that took a deflection. And the man who was on the end of it was Harry Beckley. And I think that sort of got him in an area that maybe you don't like to talk too much about because it was a fearsome shot, which sort of rebounded in his direction. But the Army have got a corner out of it. I'm sure he'll be okay. Sam Atkinson then with the corner for the Army. What can they do with this? Headed clear, well headed clear by Debenham. Headed back in though by the Army, trying to keep the pressure on. Shot comes in, and that's definitely a centre-half shot there from Craig Stevenson.
I think it's more of a clearance, John.
Yeah. Well, at least it did gather the ground. Just over halfway through this first half. Royal Air Force leading by 1-0. We're live here on Forces News YouTube and Facebook tonight. And wherever you are, it's lovely to have you with us. Joe Gosling. Come on, Gozzy.
It's a polar opposite first half for the Air Force. How they played against the Navy down at Fratton.
It is, because the Navy dominated for long periods. The RAF couldn't get into the game, but it's, so you're right, it's just the opposite here. The Army actually did, they started very positively, but they just could not get themselves into the game. And it's the press really from the Air Force that's winning. They are pressing so hard when they're don't have the ball. It's when you don't have the ball that you noticed, isn't it? You know how their press is working. Here's Subbo, crosses the halfway line, but once again he loses out. And here come the Air Force. That's a lovely ball across in the direction of Joe Spalding. He keeps it in play. He's got Bright behind him. He'll take it back as far as Thomas, Joe Thomas.
I think that was Sabo that just dribbled it all the way out defence, and Gosling's tracked him back, and Dimner's kind of casually taken the ball off him.
The RAF are totally in control of this game at the moment. They're dictating the play when they have the ball. They're very, very easy on the ball. The Army can't get into it at the moment. And just to let you know that the clock that you're seeing in front of you on the screen is about 2 minutes ahead of the official clock here in the stadium. So we may have a little bit of extra time to play, which we weren't expecting in the first half. But we've had 24 minutes played here, according to the official clock. It could be because they're stopping it, but I wouldn't have thought so. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that and let you know what's happening. I know we're in British summertime, but it's not running away quite as fast as that. Here's Gosling, offside though. He picked the ball up in an offside position, did Phil Bright. I suppose the only clock that really matters is the one that's in the referee's hands at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Scott,
yeah,
you should know all about that.
I was going to drop a little joke, John, about your or an observation that maybe the stadium clock is doing exactly what you dream of in football and stopping it every time the ball goes out of play. That would make all your dreams come true.
Independent timekeeping, yeah. Well, it started here in Shrewsbury. If this is the way forward,
I won't get you on your soapbox about it.
I'm a huge fan of that.
I agree as well.
Luke Kearney then.
I don't know if Campbell's nursing something in there, John. He seems to keep holding his hamstring out of that, or he's tucking his shorts up for a bit of more aerodynamic-esque running.
You keep an eye on that. Nice,
great challenge by Debenham.
Yeah, he did well, did Jack, didn't he? And here come the Air Force with Gosling. That's a beautiful through ball. And here goes...
Oh, he's offside.
Michael Campbell puts the ball in the back of the net. Joe Spalding, but he's offside, and it must have been a fairly marginal decision. There's a beautiful bit of work, though, from Jack Debnam to put the ball through for Gosling. Gosling with a lovely touch. And I think he was on, but...
it's a tight one, John.
It was a very tight one. And...
you put the decision aside there, you know, how the RAF have, you know, just sliced open the Army defence. A great through ball, puts him in one-on-one with Kearney. And, you know, Luke had no chance again with that.
Well, you could be right about, you know, a few injuries being carried, and it could be halting the Army. They are certainly letting things slip as far as attacking options for the Air Force are concerned. Sabo with a good header, and he's going to take that on again. Gosling. That's absolutely no trouble at all for Christian Pollock-Brigg. He'll take his men forward. Slips the ball out onto that right-hand side to Liam Corrigan. And I must say that Aaron Ayat has had a terrific start to this game, but not only has he scored the goal, he's been so involved in the game. There he is again.
Great ball.
And here come the Air Force once more, and this is
Spalding
Spalding
the back post.
Into the back post, and the ball goes wide. It'll be another corner. And all sorts of questions really at the moment being asked about the defence. And I do agree with you, just looking at Craig Stevenson, I think that he is carrying some sort of injury which is affecting his mobility. There's no doubt about that. He is limping. And I wonder how much longer he'll be able to stay out on the pitch. And it's clearly affecting the Air Force. I'll wait for the corner to come in then. Gosling takes a corner short. It's cleared by the Army's Lee McCombie.
Second chance.
And here comes Gosling again. Lovely jink. Good header, clear though by Sabo. Easy enough for Phil Bright to deal with.
Looks like there Scott McCarthy's had to come really deep, which leaves Beckley up on his phone, up on his own there. The Army come forward here.
What can they do with this? In the end, it actually goes off the boots of Liam Corrigan, and that will be another corner on that far side of the field to the Army. And stepping up to take it will be Sam Atkinson.
Looks like we've got a couple of opinions on potential Army changes from the viewers, John.
Yes, we'll get to those in a moment. Good corner, brilliantly headed clear though by Jack Debnam, already making his mark on the game. Referee says free kick. A few arms thrown up in the air.
I don't think you get an easier one than that tonight.
No, I don't think he will. Free kick then to the Army. They've got a lot of people in the box there. A lot of tall chaps hoping to get on the end of this one. Goes wide and into the back of the net. It's a brilliant header from Scott Hind, and the Army are back level. It was a brilliant free kick, and well, the Air Force didn't pick up Scotty Hind there. He went in round the back, and he's put the ball in the back of the net, and it's 1-1.
I think the commentators cursed then. John, you said lots of height in there. However, one of the smallest men on the pitch, he's popped up at the back post and beat the keeper. And the Scottish Messi scores for his viewing fans.
Well, would you believe it? I mean, the Army have not been in this game at all, and had it not been for Luke Kearney, they'd be out of sight with the RAF. And as Rob Baston says, Kearney pulls off those sorts of saves week in, week out at Poole Town FC. Bread and butter for a top keeper. Well, he's certainly kept the Army in the game, and as a result, they are back level. Brilliant header from Hind. That's two great goals that we've seen so far in this inter-services game.
Game on.
Yep. Army back in the driving seat. Remember, a draw will be enough for them tonight to win back the Constantinople Cup. I don't think we've seen the last of the scoring, though, somehow, Scott.
No. I'm glad you keep saying that, John, because I'm going to call it the inter-services for ease.
Okay. Free kick comes in, and it was a beautiful header, and Phil Bright was the really the defender who wasn't able to pick his man up. But what can the RAF do here? Jack Debenham chasing it, involved in a bit of a tussle, and he comes out on top. Ball comes wide. Oh, and once again a chance missed then for Mike Campbell this time. Goes wide of Kearney's post, but it could quite easily have gone in the back of the net.
Yeah, John, I think we're going to see the first change here of the evening as well.
Yeah.
It looks like Harry Beckley's coming off.
Yeah. Harry Beckley, who took a, if you remember, just took a bit of a bang when that ball went out for a corner. And he's going to be replaced, I think, by Greg Peel. Yeah. Peel coming on then for Beckley, and that's a bit of a blow for the Army, losing someone at this early stage. Lance Corporal Peel, who is a striker. Peel straight away involved in the game. The Army's heads right back up, of course, really buoyed by that equaliser just after half an hour.
It'd be interesting to see how the Air Force respond to this now, John, because they were pretty much in control, you know, for the first half an hour until that goal's gone in. And then now, you know, the tide's changed, the Army back in control. Debenham, great challenge.
And here he is again.
Campbell's free.
On the wide, on the right, shoots!
That space again.
And they can't keep on missing these chances, the Air Force. That's the second one now that they've missed in a space of a couple of minutes. And, well, they really can't afford to keep missing these chances. This is the Army very happy about that.
I think Luke's going to take the time just to take the sting out of this and let the Army just regroup, because it's once again, they've let him in behind the back four, and you know, if that's on target, you know, they're potentially going in 2-1 down.
Ryan Flewitt says Greg Peel changes this game for the Army. Yes, well done, Army. Come on, you can do it, says John Douglas. And Dan Stoneman, come on, you Redmen. Dan Stoneman, good evening to you, Dan. Happy memories of a cracking UCAF visit out there to Germany, and a couple of brilliant goals that you scored there, out there against the Bundeswehr, going back a few years now for UCAF.
He's a fantastic player, Dan, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, still is, but I think he's still playing for what's the team up in Hereford? It escapes me. Westfield. So I don't know if Dan's still there, but he was doing bits and pieces for there, managed by Paul Willets. I'm
sure if he is, he'll let us know, because he's obviously tuned in this evening. Good evening to you, Dan. So, Royal Air Force pegged back to 1-1 here by the British Army in this really competitive final inter-services game of the season at the Montgomery Waters Meadow here in Shrewsbury. Army sort of growing in confidence as the game goes on. Bright with the clearance only to the halfway line, headed back in for the Army, and Scott McCarthy just looking for a half a chance. Challenge there for Liam Corrigan. And the through ball just a little bit inaccurate from Jake Gosling, but the Air Force
Great touch by Peel.
That's a really important challenge there for the Air Force from Joe Thomas, just to keep McCarthy out.
I've just been watching Greg Peel as he's come on, John. He's got involved in 2 or 3 little things there, you know, in the first couple of minutes, and already, you know, he's brought that spark up front.
Yeah, it was clearly an injury that Harry Beckley took.
Are the Army going to be content with the draw and just sit back now?
I wouldn't have thought so, not for a moment. Here's Gosling. Finds Debenham, who's already having a great game in midfield for the Air Force. Phil Bright, nice turn from him, beats his man, still going. Turns it onto his left foot, finds Ayet. Well, a few more messages, come on, some goal that from Scotty Hines. And Denise Whitehead, keep the goals coming in for the Army. Well, you've only got one so far, Denise, but at the moment it could be enough.
Kearney delivers it in, looking for Greg Peel.
Bit of head tennis going on in midfield at the moment. But nice play then from Peel.
I think that's going to be an interesting battle in the second half between Sam Atkinson and Debenham. You know, both combative players, both not afraid to put it about. So I think as the game develops and as the RAF potentially need to push on a bit, it'll be an interesting battle between them two in the middle.
The Air Force just happy to keep the ball at the moment. But the Army really challenging to get it back, and that sort of challenge from Lee Phillips summed it up really. The Army just so much more at it, aren't they, now in these latter stages since they got the equaliser there.
Yeah, the tails are up.
And it was a cracking header from Scott Hines, which goalkeeper Pollock Brigg could do absolutely nothing about. Here's Gosling, lays it outside to his right back, Corrigan.
Great turn.
And this again is great work from the Air Force coming in field, and a good clearance from Lee McCombie. I must say that Mike Campbell and Joe Spalding have been absolutely superb, haven't they, in this first half?
Yeah, Campbell's been fantastic down that right. The amount of times he's turned and got in, 5 or 6 maybe now. You know, he's created goal-scoring opportunities, or he's drawn, I think we're on 5 or 6 corners now for the Air Force, which is deadly. Looking short.
Looking for a short one, but referee wants to just bring it back because we've got 2 balls on the pitch, footballs on the pitch. Gosling then, I think he'll go for an in-swinger.
Short.
No,
again.
goes short. Takes the 1-2, but it's really well intercepted there. Great work.
Scotty Hines
from
working
Scotty
hard over there.
Here's Bright in the middle of the field. And Debenham.
Looking for the switch here, Bright. Oh, plays inside. Peel brings it forward. Ref plays advantage. No advantage. We're going back for the foul. looks as though Liam Corrigan took one for the team there, John.
Yeah. Yes, it was a hefty challenge that he took. But already I think the Army players, in fact both sets of players, showing that they're quite happy to take one for the team.
Yeah, the defence was caught out, you know, quick breakaway, and he's done what he's had to do.
So we're into the last 5 minutes then of this first half here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow in Shrewsbury. And it's all square, 1-1 between the Royal Air Force and the British Army.
Just a ticking off there for Corrigan. Aidan's keeping his cards in his pocket tonight, John.
Yeah. A good decision, I think.
Yeah.
So all the officials in this season's championship have done a cracking job, really. It's so competitive there, and obviously, you know, they have to bear that. They clearly bear that in mind. And there are some, shall we say, fruity challenges going in.
It's always an honour for all the teams, and you know, you often these appointments are given on merit, you know, and you know, all the teams across the in-service fixture deserved it on merit, and I think they've performed.
I think you're involved yourself, aren't you, this weekend at Football League level? Is that right, Scott? At a stadium not too far from here?
No, I got a trip to the DW Stadium on Saturday, John. So Wigan QPR.
Fourth official. Good stuff. Debenham. Well, whatever injury that Craig Stevenson seems to be carrying, he seems to be running pretty freely now, which I'm sure the Army will be delighted about.
Yeah, the last couple of times gone forward, they seem to have shored it up a little bit, the Army.
Nice ball across from the big number 9, McCarthy. Ball goes in, McCarthy on the end of it, so is the defence, and eventually it goes out for a goal kick. And there is a player down for the Air Force.
Is it Thomas?
It looks...
No, it's not Thomas.
Is it Joe Thomas who's down?
No, Joe Thomas in the 18-yard box.
Yeah. Well, while there's a bit of a tension happening, we can see that Army equaliser again, and it was a lovely floated free kick, but I mean, loads of credit has to go to Scotty Hine, getting in behind the defence there and putting the ball into the net. A great header, and nothing at all that Christian Pollock-Brigg could do about that to level it here. And it's the Air Force had so many chances, though, looking back on this first half, Scott. They really have, and you know, there've been a couple of misses, but 4 magnificent saves from Luke Carney to keep the Army on track at the moment for an inter-services title.
Yeah, it looks like Sam Rowling's picked up a knock there. I'm sure Sam won't want to go off. He'll try and run it off and do what they can, try and get us to half-time. See what they can do. Sam won't just go off willingly.
Not the Air Force captain, no. He's, I think he's going to come straight back onto the pitch. So the official scoreboard says we have about 30 seconds left in this first half. Oof. A real clash between the two there. Nice play from Phil Bright.
Great touch.
Plays it inside to Gosling. Gosling touches it wide onto the right-hand side to Jack Debenham. Gets it back again. That's a beautiful ball. Floated there onto the left-hand side, but just offside was Aaron Ayat, and it will come back for the free kick to the Army.
Craig Holzman having a dig at Mark Feary there.
Yeah, we won't use that one, I don't think, on air. And that is the half-time whistle here which we only had about 30 seconds of stoppage time. And what a great first half, says John Douglas. Looking forward to the second half here in Musselburgh. Come on, you Army, you can do it. Good evening to Jamie Doig, and also to Helen Richardson, who, of course, is, I'm sure, watching very much as a neutral this evening down there, presumably in sort of the Portsmouth area tonight. And a few more comments coming through. I think, yeah, Dan Stoneman says, yeah, Germany was some trip, missing the lads and the footy big time, he says. Well, I'm sure they'll be missing you as well, Dan, because of the quality of your play. So half-time, and very interesting first half, wasn't it, Scott? Because for large periods, it was totally dominated by the RAF, but they couldn't get that second goal, thanks in, you know, no small part to the brilliant goalkeeping of Luke Carney. And then the Army come up with an equaliser. Yeah,
it's been a really it's been a fantastic first half, and like you say, I'm really surprised, to be perfectly honest. You know, after being live at the first game and then, you know, seeing how the Air Force were early doors, you know, high intensity, you know, really pushing the attacking options and getting in behind so many times, and if it wasn't for Luke, you know, they could be out of sight. They could, but they're not. At half-time, it's 1-1 here in this final match of the Inter-Services Men's Championship. But it's time for us to take a bit of a break, but we've got loads of sport to show you at half-time. And first of all, we're going to look back now on the weekend's rugby union action down in Plymouth.
Chance for the Royal Navy to get first blood in this opening Inter-Services Championship match of 2023. And that is sweetly struck by Jake Hanley. Great way back down the throat of Mark Williams, and has an up and under of his own. Challenge in the air. Well, penalty to the Navy. Looking to get his second penalty of the game, and makes absolutely no mistake. It's the Royal Navy 6, the Royal Air Force 0. 10 minutes in at Brickfields here in Plymouth. The Navy piling on the pressure, and now another big carry, this time through Vakalutukali. Williams charging. The RAF resolute in defence for now, but the Navy have the numbers if Toogood can release the ball quickly. Still putting the pressure on the RAF line. All power, just short once again. Recycled ball, where's it going to go? To the left. The Navy have the advantage. And in comes the penalty now. Quick tap. The RAF hot off the line. Matavesi charging. Matavesi rolling. Has he got there? Held up. A sublime piece of defence from the RAF. Well, Mal, you said they should have gone for the scrum. They didn't. They took the penalty, and they had 15 bodies across the line, which made it so easy to defend.
Visited now the Navy 22 on 3 or 4 occasions, and every time I've kind of coughed the ball up and tried to play it a little bit too wide, a little bit expanse.
Well, here come the Navy. What an offload off the deck to Rudder. Another beautiful offload, Matavesi. This is magical. Pascoe has support from Hughes into the 22. A bollocking run from Hayler. The loose ball getting stuck in the mud, and Hanley looks up to the sky and kicks for the corner. Oh, it's been stolen and collected, and oh my word, the Navy! How about that? Majestic stuff. Hanley Duncan, who scores with aplomb. Beautiful work and a beautiful first try of the game. Parking, oh, it was looking so good. Still maybe on for the RAF here, inside the Navy half, and they get the penalty once again. Wasn't it, but looking to add the 3 points here.
I was going to say, that's a great kick into the wind, that, you know. I don't think we can really appreciate the weather conditions in the stand, but, you know, that was a great kick.
So, 13-3 the score at half-time here, and I wonder how crucial that Williams penalty there at the end might be.
They've lost it now, and Williams is isolated out on the wing. The RAF industrious at the moment.
You know, I think if they look up, they'll find that the Navy defence is really, really narrow, and there's so much space on this far right-hand side for perhaps a crossfield kick like young Jay done in the first half. But, you know, the Navy's clearly infringed.
Has a slight breeze at his back this time, and straight through the uprights, no question. It is the Royal Navy 13, the RAF 6. 50 minutes played here in the opening match of the 2023 Inter-Services Championships.
And, you know, it's a long period of the game to concentrate defensively. At times you are going to make those sort of like lapses in concentration.
Well, it's taken quickly, and maybe the RAF away, and that is some excellent play. Wow, caught them blind, caught them napping, and the RAF with their first try of this game. Well, was that Chris Williams? It may well have been Chris Williams. It was certainly one of the front row replacements.
And identified the opportunity, but more importantly had the confidence to do it and backed himself.
The conversion is good, and that has levelled the score. It's the Navy 13, the RAF 13 here in Plymouth on the 5 metre line by the far touch line. Away it comes, Pugh. Plenty of space, and they kick back in to the corner. The Seagulls dance away, and under a lot of pressure Duncan was there, as it's back to Pugh, and sees the space in the backfield, and Pugh is tearing after this. Maybe this is the chance. Glidden gets there first, and they will have the goal line drop out, but great awareness from the RAF fly half.
A pitch now, and we saw the Seagulls actually feeding. I think they've been benefiting, but the Navy still coming forward, looking to see whether they can pull something out of the hat. As keep those messages coming through. I think there's going to be maybe some triumphancy on one side or another, or maybe it's going to be on us even. The next few minutes will tell us what we need to know.
Penalty, and immediately everybody points towards the post, but this is a challenging kick into the wind. Got for glory for the Royal Navy, and it is just short. Got to Duncan, who steps into the midfield. Some of the best period of play we've seen from the Navy in the second half, as they start to break down the far touchline to Rao Makita. Can he win the game for them? They have acres of space and numbers towards this near touchline.
I was going to say Rao Makita would definitely be a popular try scorer if he was to cross the whitewash.
The RAF back in defence. Scott sent backwards in the tackle. A dink over the top, charge down. Matavesi.
Yeah, fortunately for the Navy, they have still got an advantage from an early infringement, so you know they have got a free ball, and there's an opportunity to perhaps go and try to win the game.
Matavesi, oh, nicely off the top from Pascoe.
I think, and as we alluded to there, you know, I think the Navy, the RAF turned that over at the line out, and it's a draw.
Well, what a way to finish. That is full-time here from Brickfields in Plymouth. An end-to-end game, an absolute cracking contest to start the men's Inter-Services Championships for 2023. It is the Royal Navy 13, the RAF 13 at full-time.
1, 2, 3. Kids, can you look this way? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Big play coming back to Mason. Somebody's goal switches once again.
At a packed Corporal Budd VC gym in Colchester, the Paras, with home advantage, set about their opponents with ruthless efficiency. It didn't start well for the Yorkshiremen when Private Murdoch of 2 Para stopped Private Tate inside a minute and a half of the first round at 57 kilos. But 1 Yorks levelled it through Private Sloan at 63.5 kilos, beating Private Fuller of 2 Para on a second round stoppage, a performance that won him Best Boxer of the Night. After that, it was all victories for the Paras in the blue corner. A third round stoppage for Private Day over Private Frost of 1 Yorks in the third round of their 67 kilos bout. Corporal Andrews at 71 kilos, their captain, Private Ryan Walker at 75 kilos, won on points against the most gallant boxer of the night, Lance Corporal Noble. And there were also wins for Private Drury at 80 kilos, Lance Corporal Jones at 86 kilos and Private Unden at 92 kilos, until the last bout at super heavyweight, with Private Dixon of 1 Yorks taking a points win over Para Private Oakley. 2 Para will head to the final in Aldershot next month, and they'll meet Cyprus-based 1 Royal Anglian, and they can't wait.
Phenomenal performance tonight. Happy with a 7-2 win.
A great atmosphere here tonight. Obviously, you had the home advantage, and you certainly made that count in the early part of the evening.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we like to sort of hit them hard early. So all the lads, credit to them. They're really grafting now, and just the fitness really shown tonight.
Valiant effort tonight all round. They've all done themselves justice. Very proud.
I mean, you've got most gallant boxer of the night and the boxer of the night as well. So you've not gone away totally empty.
No, we've done all right. We've got a couple of awards, a couple of individual awards which we can be proud of. But as a team, as the night went, the best team won, and congratulations, and good luck in the final.
Yeah, great night of boxing last night at the Corporal Budd VC gym down in Colchester, and congratulations to all the teams, both the teams involved. It was the Paras obviously through, as we say, and they will now take on the Anglians, the Royal Anglians from based in Cyprus, of course, who won that first semi-final. So that's something to look forward to on the 27th of April, by the way, for that match. Which will, of course, be bringing you live on our Forces News Facebook and on YouTube. Well, players out on the pitch for the second half now, just getting themselves warmed up and ready. So what do you think, Scott? This game could go either way, couldn't it?
We haven't sat down, John. We're too excited. It was a great first half, and let's hope the second half replicates. And I think it goes without saying, the Air Force are going to have to come and go after it. They can't sit back. The Army might, I think we noticed it in the last 10 minutes or so of the first half, where the Army have started to, kill the game off and, consume a bit of time. But, hey, let's go, strap ourselves in.
Yep. Wherever you are, I hope you can join in the ride. (1-1) after 45 minutes.
And we were talking about what a lovely evening it was here in Shropshire. I think the rain is now starting to fall, as it is all over the country. And I'm gathered that the Rugby League, the UCAF men against the UK teachers, the first round of the President's Cup, actually never took place this evening, or it never took place because of the weather. It was called off because I'm not quite sure whether it was a waterlogged pitch, or certainly because it was the weather was so bad. If you thought those rugby highlights that we showed you from the weekend from Portsmouth, or from Plymouth rather, you could see that it was a right deluge down there in the southwest, and that rain has certainly continued. But early moments then of this second half of this final inter-services match of the season. Mo Sabo finds his goalkeeper, Luke Carney, who had a brilliant first half, made 3 superb saves to deny the Air Force an increase in their lead, which was given to them by Aaron Ajax with a brilliant left foot shot, and that's him on the ball. Clears the ball down the field, and that will go out of play harmlessly for a throw into the Army.
I think Luke will be contacting you after tonight, John, for a highlights reel of his first half.
Well, he certainly needs to put one together, although I don't think he's any stranger to making great saves, that's for sure. Rawlings back to his goalkeeper, Christian Pollitt-Brigg, has to get that in good and quickly. Army, though, pressing here in these early stages, and that's a lovely touch almost from Scott McCarthy, who's been largely kept quiet so far tonight. He had the run of the place last week in Aldershot, and scored a penalty and one cracking goal as well in the 3-0 victory. So just to remind you that a draw will be quite enough for the Army this evening to win back the Constantinople Cup. The RAF have got to win this game.
I think Andy Kutcher has definitely done his homework on Scott McCarthy from last week.
He was making copious notes during the commentary, that's for sure, last Wednesday evening down there in Aldershot. So that does not surprise me. And the quick shout out for our officials as well, Scott, this evening, who come from your senior service. And
don't want to tempt fate, John, but I think they've had a really strong start in our first 48 minutes. Yeah. I think Aidan's been pretty much faultless, to be honest.
Yeah, they've done very well. Lee McCombie then will take the free kick for the Army as they search for a second goal here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow, home of Shrewsbury Town. That's a lovely ball forward by Hyatt.
Great advantage.
Yeah, just couldn't quite control it, could he, just on that far side.
And I've cursed him, John.
The referee has given the throw in. He's given the throw in to the Army when the RAF thought it was theirs.
I think he's up to play the advantage there, and the RAF aren't happy that he hasn't brought it back. Atkinson and Debnam battling already.
Yeah, they are. That's a great bit of play from the Air Force. Lovely through ball from Gosling. Now, what can the RAF do here? It's a lovely ball inside. Oh, it's hit the post. Well, would you believe it? Another chance goes away from the Air Force, and it couldn't have been any closer, really, could he? My word, that was a great effort. Fantastic work there for the Air Force from Joe Spalding there. And, well, he could have had a hat-trick this evening, couldn't he?
Small margins again, isn't it? Great saves, the woodwork. What else do they have to do?
And Luke Carney never, he was, again, stuck on his line. There's nothing he could have done about it.
I'd like to see they capitalise on this pressure now and look to create some more chances.
If the Air Force lose this tonight, they'll be absolutely ruining these chances that they've not been able to put away for one reason or another. Debnam. That's a nice ball out again onto that far side, and once more it's Spalding going tight. Claimed for a handball, waved away, although the flag's gone up. Has that gone up for
goal kick?
A goal kick, yeah. Was out of play. Brilliant shot from Spalding. Straight against the woodwork.
We've definitely not been short of entertainment tonight in the opening 50 minutes, have we?
No, we haven't, and it's been a really good finale to the inter-services season here. We've got UCAF football, of course, to look forward to a little bit later on in the spring. And the referee will have to bring that back because Joe Thomas went flying there. I think he's going to be okay. He's sort of rolling about a bit at the moment. He certainly fell awkwardly in that challenge.
He's come over the top at a blistering pace there.
But I've kind of lost count, haven't I, the chances that the RAF have had in this game, and you know, the goalkeeping from Luke Kearney, and some misses. That has to go down as a miss. Obviously, it's not a shot on. Doesn't count as a non-target, does it, when it hits the post? But it was very, very close indeed. Martin Mitchell says, "Is that Scott Jackson on the commentary?"
Here it is. Martin's one of our Air Force referees.
Good evening to you, Martin.
I'm unsure if he's still on his honeymoon. If he is, his new wife will not be happy with him watching this on Facebook, John.
Bit of a challenge going in there between those two. Sam Atkinson, though, bringing it away for the Army. Goes wide. That's a lovely little touch there from McCombie. Ball goes inside. Good play from the Air Force, so with Brodie Gray bringing it away. And
I think that's the Scotty Hind footwork that we've been looking to watch all night, John.
Yeah, McCarthy is down at the moment in the penalty area, and the referee is allowing it to go on for now.
Last-ditch challenge, clearing the ball.
It was, and that will go out of play. And the referee going back to have a look at the Army's Scott McCarthy, who, as we say, picked up an injury in Aldershot last week. And he's holding his, looks like his left thigh, or is it his right knee, I can see from here. Ellis Langford said, "Is Sean Woolley injured for the Army? How is he not starting?" Well, the thing is that it's been exactly the same lineup that started last week, the same substitutes as well. So Sean Woolley, number 15, there is a little bit of movement on the bench there, and that's really bad news for the Army, with Scott McCarthy is having to leave the field. I don't think he's going to be back.
It doesn't look promising over there, John.
No,
He's being escorted off by two members of the medical team.
Yeah, maybe it's his knee that's gone.
The good thing is he's walking, so...
He is. But the RAF have a chance again for a second. Goalkeeper comes off his line.
That's great defending by Craig Stevenson there. Absolutely brilliant defending.
And Aaron Ayat almost in for a second goal.
He's looking dangerous, isn't he?
He is. Claudette Madden says, "Lovely to hear you saying our boy Aidan has been faultless so far." Well, he's a referee, you know.
We're definitely not faultless, John, you know that. We've had many discussions about this. I think we're our own worst critics as well. Gosling with a great through ball there.
And here he goes once more. Is
Spalding cuts in.
Still going. Plays it across onto this right-hand side to Corrigan. Ayet. Back to Corrigan. Taking a 1-2. Ball comes inside to Debenham. Important clearance, important header and clearance from Sabo.
And I think we're going to see the Army change now, John.
So the change is happening. And so coming on for them is Andy Matthews, Sergeant Andrew Matthews, wearing number 14, coming on for Scott McCarthy. And that really is a blow for the Army. And they've now lost both their central attackers, haven't they? With Beckley having had to go off in the first half. Gosling looking for a through ball.
I'm unsure if the Beckley one was tactical, John, or not. It did look like he picked up a knock earlier, but I'm unsure if it was tactical. Because Greg Peel's been a ball of fire since he's been on.
He has. Oh.
That's a big challenge.
And that will surely be a yellow card, I'd have thought. Joe Thomas going in there pretty heavily. And a bit of a talking to he gets.
And as expected, the yellow card comes out.
Yep.
It's his second booking of the inter-services this year, John.
Yep.
Thomas.
Yeah, misses the next match, does he? So this will be Matty Evans, and will take this free kick on that right-hand side. With the rain falling now here in Shrewsbury, like it seems to be falling everywhere else in this country at the moment. Just waiting, there's a lot of movement inside the penalty area. Andy Matthews, big number 14. Might it be reaching him? It does. He heads it. It's kept for a goal kick.
Scotty Hahn found himself as well.
Yep.
You know, unmarked again in the box. They don't want to be doing that too often after the equaliser.
Nope. Approaching the hour here. It's 1-1. So tight now. This game has just changed, really. It's become much, much tighter. Neither side can afford to concede at this stage in the game. Here's Gosling. Lovely ball forward, aimed for Campbell. But good defending from the Army. But still the Air Force looking to press home an advantage here. Thomas to Bright.
Be interested to see the Air Force make any changes, John. Do you know where they need to press for the win?
Not seen anything yet.
No, it doesn't seem to be any movement.
That's a brilliant ball across. Spalding again. Jinks his way through. He's been such a menace tonight, hasn't he, for the Army defence. But good defensive work, good cover. And that was Matty Evans who made the all-important challenge there to give the Air Force yet another corner.
I've been really impressed with the RAF strike force tonight, John. They've been absolutely ferocious. In swinger.
It comes in now, but well headed clear again. It's Evans who's on the end of it. Great header from him.
Looks like the Army just trying to take the sting out of it now.
Yes, they know all that's needed is a draw here for them to win back this all-important Constantinople Cup. Originally competed for back in 1905 between the Army and the Navy. Lovely turn from Thompson. Good defensive work. The Army still going.
Claim for handball. I think Sam Atkinson was just being a little bit ambitious there, a little bit hopeful.
I think if Sam meant that, the referee would still be hearing about it in about 4 or 5 minutes' time. His arm's in the natural position. You're never going to get anything for that.
That's lovely control. Good defensive work from the Air Force, bringing it clear. Lovely one-touch football. Flick down the field, and on the chase for it is Mike Campbell. He'll go and retrieve the ball from the advertising hoardings. And Liam Corrigan will take this throw-in for the Air Force. Gosling. He's got that ability to play the ball where he likes. Bright gets it across, and the attempts coming in from Joe Spalding. Harmlessly out of play. But as you say, no sign of any changes being made by Andy Kuchar at the moment from the RAF benches over there on the main stand side of the field. Don't think I've ever been to a game here at Shrewsbury when it's not rained for at least part of the match. Not affecting the players though. Nicely cleared by Eilert.
Great touch by Peel.
Oof. Meaty challenge. The referee says it was fair. Here's Gosling looking to put his man clear. Instead he plays it wide to Bright on the left-hand side. Great run from Phil Bright. Gets a cross in. Clay for handball, waved away. But they do have the pace on both of these flanks here from Liam Corrigan on the right and Phil Bright on the left.
The intensity's just picked up from the Air Force in the last couple of minutes, John. You know, you can see what goes for us saying chasing the game, but, you know, mounting the pressure on, you know, it'll hopefully find that winner.
It is so evenly poised here. Brodie Gray. Bright again, makes a challenge. Gosling. And here's Bright once more. Nice play from Joe Spalding, who's been absolutely here, there and everywhere in this game. Rawlings. Out to Corrigan. Air Force being patient here.
They're just in so much possession of the ball now, it just seems like the Army are quite happy to sit off.
Well, the Air Force need to do obviously something with it. Spalding approaching the penalty area, gets a cross in.
Great ball.
And on the end of it, oh, brilliant stop. That was magnificent defensive work from the Army again, but once more Luke Kenny is furious that Joe Spalding was given so much of an opportunity to get that cross in, and on the end of it was Michael Campbell, but that was a terrific bit of defence from the Army there. Last ditch stuff.
They are pushing so hard for this to take the lead here.
So Gosling then with the corner, headed clear eventually by the Army. Bit of a challenge coming in from Sam Rawlings for the Air Force.
Great header. Phil Bright there, picking up the pieces. Switches on for Gosling out on this right flank.
And here's Bright again. Real pressure from the Air Force. Jack Debenham. Gosling available to him, as is Corrigan. Debenham again. And Bright. Ball goes wide now, once more to Spalding. Causing all sorts of issues for the Army defence. Debenham. That's a good interception.
You just look there, John, and they've got all 11 men behind the ball there, the Army, you know, really trying to shore it up.
Yeah. Well, and we've only had 65 minutes, so there's plenty of time left in this game. Christopher Mole says, hey, it's England, it's raining. Always somewhere. You're right. RAF are playing great. But come on, the Army. All that support coming through. It's all RAF pressure, as you'd expect. They need a goal to get their hands back on this trophy. Army defending superbly at the moment.
You just look when the ball, you know, goes dead. The RAF are really quick to get it back, get the ball back in play, get on the ball, get it moving.
Corrigan. Back to his captain, Rawlings. And here's Joe Thomas. Now, this isn't where the RAF want it. They want it further up the field. Happy to play it out at the moment. Bit of a press from the Army to stop them. Peel up there. Yes, it's not getting out of their own box at the moment.
I don't know if the Army have switched for a 4-4-2 with Peel and Atkinson going up front, or a 4-5-1.
Here's Ayat again. He's really caught the eye tonight. Sorry about that.
I've been waiting for that, John. 67 minutes this took you.
Oh, and cleared away for yet another corner for the Air Force. And that was the Craig Stevenson, big centre-back.
Looking short.
Gosling, he's all over the pitch at the moment, gets the cross in. It's a beautiful one.
Free header. It's a goal!
In the net. And who is the scorer but Sam Rawlings, the captain? Well, it took a little bit of magic, didn't it, from Jake Gosling, that lovely cross. And there on the end of it was Sam Rawlings, the captain, to put the RAF back ahead, 2-1.
And he's left them unmarked in the box. The ball comes in from Gosling, a free header, and once again Kearney, unfortunately, nowhere to go with it. Well, game on again, John. The Army have to come out of the blocks now.
Needs a bit of a change into the last 20 minutes of this match. And will it be the RAF's turn to sit back, possibly, and go to protect this lead, or will they just carry on looking for more? Bit of a late challenge coming in there on Michael Campbell. Referee just having a quiet word.
No, I think he's going in the book there, John.
That's a yellow, yeah, for Lee McCombie. Takes a yellow card. Pretty hefty challenge.
He's left his calling card on Mike Campbell there.
He certainly has.
Be interesting to see how the intensity goes now. You know, the Army, they've got to chase it. They've got to stay rational with it and try and do it properly.
Yeah, I wonder whether Jimmy is going to make a few changes. He's still got a few options on the bench. People who can make things happen in terms of goals in this last 20 minutes. And also be interesting to see whether the RAF say, hey, OK, we'll stick with what we've got. So far, Andy Kutcher's not made any changes. 50-50 challenge, Army win it. That right side with Matty Evans. Challenge with Phil Bright, Evans wins it. Edge of the penalty area, still going, but eventually the RAF will clear it. Army, though, yes, things have changed. They now need a goal. Stevenson.
We are set for a fantastic last 20 minutes here, John.
It's been a terrific game. It really has. It's been a really good game of football, and absolute justice to the Inter-Services Championship.
Few little words being had.
I think Aiden's going to get tested now.
Yeah, it's there'll be no holds barred in these last few minutes.
I think the kitchen sink term may come at it from the Army.
I think you're right. So, free kick then to the Army that Thompson is going to take. Lots of moving about in that box. Thompson with the free kick, and the ball just goes out of play, just a little bit too far. But you can see they're aiming for their big men, aiming for Mo Sabo and also Andy Matthews, who's come on. Both very tall men. That could be their route to success. Of course, it was a header that got them back into the game in the first half after they'd gone behind.
The Air Force still looking to play short, you know, out from the back from the goal kicks.
And Sabo with the header. Corrigan then with the throw. Gosling. And Sabo with the clearance. Army looking to create a bit of space. Unfortunately, Lee Phillips didn't quite go the way he wanted it to go there.
He's been quite quiet tonight, as Lee Phillips, down the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's usually been a very fertile area of ground for the Army.
Great challenge.
It was a great challenge to deny Phil Bright. Referee, though, says it is a throw into the Army, which
Looks
the
like
Air Force didn't agree with.
A bit of movement down on the Army bench, potential double substitution there.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a little bit more injection of some new ideas, perhaps, as the Army search for this equaliser that would give them the title.
Great clearance by Corrigan.
Remember their 3-0 victory over the Navy last week. The Army needed to get a draw tonight.
Triple substitution, it looks like.
So they are making the changes.
Matty
so
Evans is the first one to come off.
And Cam Story coming on.
Substitutions for the Army, replacing number 2 with Matty Evans is number 12, Cam Story.
In fact, looks like they're making 3 changes. Another change. And coming off the other left back, Lee McCombie is coming on. Off for Sean Woolley is coming on, wearing number 15.
Looks like the Army are going attacking John now, which you can't blame them.
Yep. Well, Kieran Day says we need a Sean Woolley on the pitch. Well, here he is. And it looks like another change as well for the Army. A full throw of the dice then from Jimmy. Coming off is number 11, that's Lee Phillips, to be replaced by number 18, Jamie Turner. So the kitchen sink, I think we can say, is now being thrown at the RAF in this last 15 minutes.
I think that was a good curse. It looks like they've gone to 3 at the back, the Army, 3 centre-backs. Debnam's been absolutely everywhere tonight, John. He's been fantastic.
Yeah, I think if I was looking for a player of the match, in fact, possibly a player of the tournament, I wouldn't look too much further than him.
No.
He's been terrific in both the games that he's played. But there's still the possibility of some more twists and turns here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow. Water being the operative word. John Cadell sends you best wishes from Washington, D.C.
I don't know what time of day it is over there, John, but greetings to you over the other side of the pond. It's great to hear from you.
I think they're about 5 hours behind us, aren't they, on that side, in that side of the United States. So it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, we reckon, but
John, maybe you can correct us if we're wrong.
He'd have definitely finished work then a good few hours ago, knowing John.
Liam Jacks is very happy that Sean Woolley is on the field. But let's see what he and these 3 changes can make. All 5 replacements now on the field for the British Army as they have the attempt to get back into this game, trailing by 2-1. Scott Hind challenging with it, wins the corner, much to the disagreement of Joe Thomas.
He's combative. Thomas is everywhere, isn't he? He throws himself into everything.
He does.
I think he's been quite solid, throughout the tournament. He had a good performance down at Fratton Park, nice and composed on the ball.
Sam Atkinson then with the corner. On the end of it, oh, and that was a brilliant header from Andrew Matthews and an equally magnificent clearance from Joe Thomas.
I think it's Debnam that's cleared that off the line.
Oh, it could be, the smallest man on the pitch.
Yeah, it seems like he's at the front post.
I saw Thomas go up there and everyone was congratulating someone, but that header was going into that top corner, no doubt about it. Corner comes in again, another header, another clearance.
Debnam again.
And that just goes to show how important it is to put a man on the post. So often you see in the Premier League these days, there's no one on either post, and how many goals get conceded as a result. Cross comes in, headed clear by Joe Thomas, inevitably. Here's another of the Army substitutes, Jamie Turner, on this left-hand side. Being tracked, but he gets the cross in. It's a really good cross.
And there he is again.
Yeah. Brilliant play from Jack Debnam again. But the alert button is certainly on.
Oh,
Luke Carney. It's a Route 1 ball and a header. Well, Mo Sabo tried to direct it. In the end, he couldn't. But we mentioned the kitchen sink. There's not a lot of the kitchen left at the moment. It's being thrown at the RAF, as you would expect.
And it looks like we've got a first RAF change for the evening as Joe Spalding's making way for Josh Story-Randall.
Yeah. Yeah, he's had a great game. I think there's not much left in the tank as far as Joel Spalding is concerned. He's had a magnificent game for the Air Force tonight. So Josh Story-Randall has come on.
Doesn't look like they're going to try to go too defensive as well, the RAF.
Well, the tactics have worked for them thus far, especially this late stage of the game. And straight away, the substitute Story-Randall getting in on the act, but the Army bringing it forward now. They have this opportunity. Out on that far side, the big number 16. Greg Peel. Cross comes in, headed over the top. RAF really having to defend for their lives. It's another corner to the Army.
Luke Kearney looks like he's going short for this.
Well, he's come wide onto the onto this left-hand side. Isn't it just a bit early for this? I just wonder. Anyway, they're throwing everything at the Air Force at the moment, and Carney is way off his line. You just imagine a speculative long-range shot coming in from one of the RAF players. But it's all or nothing for the Army here. We've still got 10 minutes left. They trail by 2-1, and a bit of a wayward cross there. The ball went out of play, and I don't think Mike Campbell was particularly pleased with that. Another corner to the Army. And Sam Atkinson going over to take this.
Moving into the last 10 minutes of normal time now.
Pummeling the Army goal, the RAF goal. Goes out for another corner.
Kearney's more advanced than the last defender.
Sam Atkinson seems to be going from one side of the pitch to the other at the moment just to take corners. This will be an in-swinger. Air Force defending for their lives at the moment. Another header comes in. Is it a free kick? I think it's a free kick to the RAF.
Corrigan seems to have picked up.
And the referee wants to have a word actually with Andy Matthews, possibly for something that he said. I think there were a few words said. I think Matthews was thinking maybe I was thinking about a penalty, but he's so tall. Look at him.
This is going to be interesting. Aidan's not the tallest.
My goodness me. Anyway, a severe word had. That's all it took. Another change to the Air Force.
Looks like Phil Bright's making way for Jordan Sowerby.
Yes, indeed.
He's been good again as Phil Bright.
Yep.
I think that's the defensive change, just to keep it kind of fresh, where the Army are going to penetrate down the right-hand side.
Luke Carney still well off his line. Michael Cushion says, never change Luke Kearney.
He's definitely not your textbook goalkeeper.
Basically 12 outfield players now for the Army here. Headed ball forward, the flick on. Thompson tried to get on the end of it there. Atkinson rather. Army have got to be so careful here. They can easily give away an opportunity. And what a chase that is. Brilliant bit of running for the RAF, for Mike Campbell. Still going into the edge of the penalty area. Campbell still going. Well challenged though.
Is that the initial fouls given outside?
Yeah. Was it a foul? Yes. It looks like it. I don't think Sean Woolley's too happy about that decision. The rain absolutely lashing down here now at Shrewsbury Town's ground. '83 minutes. 83 minutes on the clock here. Important free kick just to take the pressure off a little bit for the Air Force. Look, see, they've not got too many people in the box there.
Nice solid three at the back.
Gosling then with the free kick, straight into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Kearney looking for a quick release.
And it is a quick release.
He's let set Atkinson free.
Maybe a little bit too quick. Gosling. Oh, that's a lovely touch from him. But a really strong challenge coming in from the Army central defender, Captain Mo Sabo. Just a little reminder that as it stands, the RAF would retain the Constantinople Cup, having won it for the last 2 seasons. Words now being had with Sean Woolley. One more, and there'll be a yellow card. He's not been on the field for too long.
I think it doesn't do the Army any favours there, because they're wasting time.
Yeah, exactly. So Corrigan then will take the throw.
Great flick by Gosling. Campbell
in, gets the byline. The cross. Oh, it just didn't fall particularly well for the Air Force. Shot coming in straight away from Ayat.
I don't think he expected it to come through to him.
That's a great ball from Woolley. If it can be kept in play, it can, but only as far as a light blue shirt. And here's Ayat again, wide on that left-hand side. Ball goes out of play, and it will be a throw to the Army. It's driving rain now. This has completely spoilt the weather here in Shropshire tonight.
It's definitely not spoilt the game though, John. It's been an absolutely fantastic game, and whatever happens, in the closing 5 to 10 minutes, it's been an absolute spectacle again for Forces football.
It has, absolutely right. Thoroughly enjoyable game.
Can the Army dig deep and find an equaliser?
Okay, here's Woolley. Looking to beat a couple of people. Still going is Sean Woolley. Takes the ball to the byline. Gets across, which is blocked. And very well blocked indeed by Mike Campbell, who has run himself into the ground here from start to finish.
We discussed at the start there might be a few concerns, you know, if he picked up that knock in the first game, but I think he's been, you know, there's not really been a bad player out there, John.
No. Everybody has really performed magnificently tonight.
I think my standout was Kearney in the first half, and then Debenhams took another gear in the second half for the RAF.
Atkinson then with the corner. Floated in and cleared again by, that man again. It's that man again, Jack Debenham. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, and the RAF are in.
And that was a very late challenge. That is definitely going to be a card. And a very stern word is being had now, because I've just got a feeling it will definitely be a card for the substitute. Cam Story.
I think that's the age-old taking one for the team. You know, he's identified that the Army haven't got anybody back.
Story takes a yellow.
Tactical foul.
In different circumstances, that might have been a different colour.
No.
There speaks the referee. They've still got RAF have still got Brodie Gray down at the moment, and I think there'll be quite a few players maybe feeling a bit of. In fact, Gray's going off, and he's going to be replaced by Danny Dixon. Daniel Dixon. Well, Danny Dixon, Mr. RAF football, coming on here with just a couple of minutes to go.
The stalwart.
Absolutely.
Now this is where we may see some game management tactics if Danny Dixon's on the pitch, John.
Absolutely. Debenham. Now that's a great shot. Now that really would have been a sensational way for him to finish, and that's a brilliant save as well. Wow, an amazing bit of play there. Michael Campbell then with a follow-up, and that was a superb save from Carney, who was literally on the floor and made the save. That's another magnificent save from the Army goalkeeper. But initially, what a shot that was from Jack Debenham. He's been absolutely here, there and everywhere.
I think if we had a man of the match award, John, I think he'd definitely be cleaning up
Player of the
tonight.
match without any shadow of a doubt. But closely followed by the Army goalkeeper, who has kept them in the game. And the Army still very much in this game, despite the fact they're trailing by 2-1. We've just got a few moments left. Gosling.
Debenham.
Debenham shoots. Again, Carney saves. Offside. Well, he never actually played the ball in the end. But this rain is getting heavier and heavier. And in fact, I'm just seeing a few puddles emerging on the pitch now on that far side. It's absolute torrential rain.
Bodies on the line, stuff out there
Turner.
now. Every challenge, full-blooded.
Jamie Turner still going. And that's just a little bit too far for Scotty Hine, who also had a terrific game for the Army tonight. Last minute of normal time here. There will be a fair amount of stoppage time simply for all the replacements that have been made. Kia Bradley Lawrence says Dubbo deserves a goal. Mr. Dixon on to control the last 5 minutes. Air Force all the way.
Kia's definitely a man in the know.
Michael Cushion, Danny Dixon, some boy, and Helen Richardson. Come on, Dixo, bringing the big guns. Kitman sensation.
Oh, it's a shot from range. I think he noticed Kearney off his line.
I was too busy reading a few of the messages. Just as well you were paying attention, Scott. Carney with the kick. We're going to see how much stoppage time is going to be played. 5 minutes more to go in this Inter-Services Championship. And can the Army get a goal that would win them the cup?
I'm more concerned for Dave McNamara's hair gel running in his eyes over there, John, is the fourth official.
It's a great cross. Goalkeeper on the end of it. And Christian Pollitt-Brigg makes the save and uses up a few more seconds.
Campbell wins the header there.
But they've got to get it route one down the pitch, which Carney does.
I think there's a big chance left in this for the Army.
I agree. Here's Sean Woolley on the ball. Nice control from him. Beats Debenham for once. Woolley still going. Trying to get the ball deep.
Challenge. Campbell's done well there.
That was not a very nice challenge by Sean Woolley on Mike Campbell, who stays down on the field. And I'm surprised, actually, that the referee hasn't had a word with Mr. Woolley about that. And he's clearly frustrated.
I think he's tried to come on to add a bit of life to it.
John Douglas says, well done both teams. What another great game. Come on, the Army. You can do it. Dave Evans. How is Danny Dixon still playing? I played with him at Marham and Thetford Town back in 2002. Goodness me, that's 21 years ago.
It must be a fabulous diet and fitness regime from Danny to still be going at his age now.
Yeah, absolutely loving it, though.
He's always a character around the place as well. Plenty to say for himself. Especially to us.
Pollitt-Brigg with the clearance. Is there another chance in this game for the Army?
And there he is as he paddles through the back.
Jake Gosling again has made his mark on this match, hasn't he, with that cross, which led to the second goal scored by RAF captain Sam Rawlings.
Look at Debenham there, he's still working hard, you know, furthest man forward.
Yeah, he's been an absolute Trojan for them tonight. Everyone forward now for the Army, just about desperately in search of this goal. RAF will win a free kick then, another challenge from Craig Stevenson, which the referee didn't like.
A little bit of frustration creeping in as the Army are chasing it.
Yeah.
And that plays into the RAF hands. You know, they can break up the play, they'll take the time.
Well, Aaron Hyatt, you know, stays down, quite rightly so, just uses up a few more seconds. Deep into stoppage time now. Right at the end of this game. And are the Air Force going to retain the Constantinople Cup? Are the Army going to snatch it back? We will know in the next few seconds. That's a brilliant challenge there from Cam Story. Ball goes out of play, but it's an RAF ball. How much more time to be played? Will this be an RAF double after the RAF women secured a 4-1 victory earlier today against the Army at Leek Town on the plastic pitch there?
Gonna be a big one from Carney. Gotta be big.
It is deep into the penalty area. RAF managing it though. And once more.
You can just hear Luke shouting at them the second ball. He's been really frustrated with that all night, where they just, you know, they might get the first contact, but trying to get the second ball, he's just not been there for the Army.
Launching it into the box. Story.
Debenham there again.
Yeah, and that will go into the main stand. Thank you very much. Will that be the last action of this match? The referee checking his watch. Still got a wee bit more, maybe one more chance for the Army, perhaps from this throw-in. Raising his arm, throw-in comes in. Everybody up there for the Army. Cleared away. Look where Luke Carney is.
Here he goes.
Takes a shot. Well, it was speculative.
What did I say, John, earlier on?
Well, if he'd have scored there, that would have just been one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen in football, I think.
I would not put it past Luke Carney.
But it remains 2-1 to the Royal Air Force in this absolutely absorbing and thoroughly entertaining finale to the Inter-Services season here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow.
Last chance potentially for the Army.
Oh,
Atkinson's in.
Is he going to challenge for it? Goalkeeper gets there first. Well, very, very close, wasn't it?
It has been absolutely fantastic tonight.
Amazing game.
And there we go.
And it comes to an end, and the Royal Air Force have retained the Constantinople Cup. They've beaten the Army by 2-1, and to be fair, no one could have given any more this evening than both of these two teams. They've absolutely entertained us royally. Jack Debenham is down there on the ground. He has absolutely given his all.
I think he's on his feet. On his feet, Johnny has been absolutely magnificent tonight.
Well, there's been some terrific performances. Sean Woolley there, absolutely gutted. Once more, the Army just falling short in this Inter-Services Championship. But it really has been played in it's been a terrific game.
Yeah, and I think Luke Carney will be disappointed. He's on the losing side with his personal performance tonight.
He's been magnificent, hasn't he? I mean, the saves that he's made tonight have kept the Army in the game, to be fair.
Yeah. In both halves, you know, there's been spells where he's had to make a double save. There was 3 in quick succession in the first half. And, you know, from a personal point of view, I'm sure he'd be disappointed, you know, in what he's done for the team tonight. Well, he'd be pleased with what he's done, but disappointed with the overall result.
Yeah, he will. I'm sure Andy Kuchar's absolutely delighted as well with the way his players have responded and took the lead early on. Army pulled themselves back. A few more mentions coming through. Daniela Debenham, well done to the RAF. The kids have loved watching you, Jack, a.k.a. the smallest man on the pitch. Yeah, but he kept one of those. A memorable moment for me was when he kept out a header from the tallest man on the pitch. Yeah, that was terrific.
And then I think he followed it up with another one a minute later.
Ellis Langford, not great to watch. Congratulations to the RAF. Well, I disagree with you, Ellis. I thought it was a terrific game to watch. Dave will have someone holding a brolly, Scott. Helen Richardson, congratulations to the Royal Air Force, an awesome game. Now that it's over, let's get back in camp for a few weeks for the 3-in-1. That, of course, is the UK Armed Forces team, and some great celebrations now going out there on the pitch with the Royal Air Force celebrating once again, retaining the Constantinople Cup, retaining the Inter-Services title. And I know Kath and our cameraman Lewis are standing by in the wet. They've drawn the short straw, I'm afraid, tonight, again out in the wet, to meet and talk to some of the winners. And poor old Lewis actually got absolutely drenched last Saturday. OK, Kath is now down on the pitch and she's got someone to talk to.
Michael Campbell, captain of the victorious Royal Air Force team. Cammy, how does that feel?
It's hard to put in words right now. Do you know what? We played so well all season. The Navy were unbelievable against us, so we knew coming into today we needed to be better. And I thought we were at the last 10 minutes, I'm not lying. My legs have absolutely gone, so it's hard to take in, but we've got such a good squad. We've been amazing all year, as I said, so yeah, it means everything.
And not only to win this game, but to win against, you know, to win the Inter-Services in such a game. When the Army had beaten the Navy 3-0 as well, you had it up against you there.
Yeah, and we watched the game. I know that we were putting it on a WhatsApp group. Everyone was watching the game from home and stuff, and everyone was saying like we've got to be on it because the Army looked really good, they looked really threatening going forward. But you know, we trust ourselves. As I say, the Navy were really good, but we trust ourselves, and we knew that if we played how we wanted to play, we get a result. So.
It's really important that a captain plays by example. I kept writing in my notes, Cammy again. You were in there, you were in every bit of action and right around the goal all the time. So a really good personal achievement as well.
Yeah, I mean, I should have scored probably 2 in the first half. I had a bit of a groin injury against the Navy, so I come off at half time, so I was desperate to play well today. Yeah, I should have stuck 1 away at least, probably 2 in the first half. Would have maybe made the game a bit easier, but yeah, just got to... Obviously wearing the armband after Tommy Clace had to step away, so I kind of felt like I had to do everything I could, yeah.
I'm going to let you go now, Cammy, because they're presentations. Congratulations.
So Michael Campbell then going back to the rest of his team as it's time for the presentations to take place in the wet here, and we're going to have obviously presentations for the officials, match officials, as the referee comes up to receive his congratulations and his commendations. And as we've said all night, I think terrific officiating tonight, as we've had throughout the season.
Yeah, I think the team of officials will be really pleased with the performance tonight. Having done this fixture, you want to go completely under the radar, like you do in most games, and up your profile when you need to and get the big stuff right. You're not going to get everything right, but you want to get the big stuff right. And I think Aidan and the team have had a really good game tonight.
Well, the Carrington Cup will be the first trophy presented tonight. This is for the RAF against the Army, and it goes to the RAF as Michael Campbell goes up to receive that trophy, and the congratulations from all of those people who are there. He lifts the trophy, but the one, of course, that they're looking forward to getting their hands on the most is the Constantinople Cup.
This is awarded to the winner of these services. Tonight's winner, the world first.
And Michael Campbell will go out once more and receive that. In fact, it's going to be the presentation, I think, of all the medals first.
Cheers,
to the winning teams, warmly applauded by their Army compatriots who have competed so brilliantly tonight in this match, and indeed in this Inter-Services Championship.
Sorry, thank you. Shrewsbury Town FC for yet again hosting tonight's game. Thank you for all attending and have a seat for my presentation.
Okay. We're
Sorry, thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers.
So the trophy just about to be presented then to Michael Campbell.
He's put a fantastic shift in tonight, was Mike Campbell.
Wait for it. Here we go.
The champagne celebrations begin.
Is that champagne, or is it just sparkling water, or is it even rainwater? I don't know. But hey, whatever they're celebrating with, the Army players having to leave the field now, they will go and lick their wounds. They're back again, of course, next year. And, of course, all these players will be in line for call-ups in terms of UCAF later on in the season. But it's been a terrific Inter-Services Championship. Scott Jackson, just a final thought from you, possibly?
No, John, thanks for the opportunity once again. It's been, sadly I missed the game last week, but the two games I've been to, it's been exceptional level of football, considering that, the full time in the forces, and, I think the RAF deserved the win tonight. So thanks for your company again, as always.
It's been our pleasure, and thank you very much to our team as well, who've been heavily involved in both of the games today, to Mark and to Lewis and Kath and Jason, our engineer, on the site tonight. Also to Craig, who's been looking after all our social media as well, and the team as well. Mustn't forget to mention Scott, who was doing all the technical work down at Leek Town earlier on, and of course our team back at headquarters as well, led by our director Sarah Burles. But from me, John Knighton, and from all the team, we will say a very good night from a celebrating RAF team here at the Montgomery Waters Meadow with the Royal Air Force, the Inter-Services champions for 2023.
Big